Welcome to my channel. Have you ever felt like your brain is just too busy? Like it is always thinking and it never takes a break? Maybe you're trying to sleep, but your brain is still talking. You remember something you said 2 weeks ago. You think about a test that is next month. You worry about a message you sent this morning. You play the same thoughts again and again like a movie on repeat. This is called overthinking. And you are not the only one. Many people, students, workers, teachers, parents, they all overthink. Even I used to overthink a lot. I thought too much about small things. Did I say the right word? Did I make a mistake? What will happen if I fail? I was always living inside my thoughts. But overthinking is not helping us. It feels like we are solving a problem, but really we are just going in circles. And when we overthink, we often feel tired, sad, and stuck. But what if I told you that there is a way out? Yes, you can stop overthinking. You can make your mind calm again. And you don't need difficult English or complicated ideas. In this video, I will show you how, step by step, using easy English. We will learn together. I will give you examples, and I will speak slowly and clearly. So if you are learning English and you also want to stop overthinking, this video is made just for you. So stay with me. Watch till the end. Each part of this video is important, and each step will help you more and more. If you miss one part, you might miss the solution. You are going to learn something useful, not just for your mind, but for your daily life. Let's begin. Chapter 1. What is overthinking? Let's begin by understanding what overthinking really means. The word sounds simple. Over plus thinking too much. But it's not just about thinking a lot. Thinking is normal. We think every day. We think when we make decisions, when we plan something, or when we solve problems. That kind of thinking is good. It helps us learn and grow. But overthinking is different. Overthinking means thinking in a way that doesn't help us. It means thinking too much about the same thing again and again. It means asking the same question in your mind over and over. It means worrying about the past or the future, even when there's nothing you can do. Let me give you a small example. Imagine you sent a message to your teacher. It was a simple message. Maybe you asked a question. But now it has been 30 minutes. And the teacher hasn't replied. You look at your phone. You check the message. Did you write it correctly? Did you sound rude? Maybe the teacher is angry? You check again after 10 minutes. Still no reply. You ask your friend, "Do you think the teacher is upset with me?" You go to bed, but the message is still in your mind. This is overthinking. You are not solving a problem, you are just going in a circle. The teacher will reply when they can, but your brain is too busy creating problems that don't exist. That is what overthinking does. It creates problems from nothing. Another example, you are in class and the teacher asks a question. You know the answer, but you don't raise your hand. You think, what if I'm wrong? What if people laugh? What if I pronounce it badly? So you stay quiet. Later you feel sad. You knew the answer, but you didn't speak. You go home and think about it for hours. Again, overthinking. Let's look at one more situation. You made a small mistake, maybe in your homework or during a conversation. It was not a big mistake. But your mind keeps repeating it. Why did I do that? Why didn't I check? What will they think about me? You keep going back to the same thought, even though the moment has already passed. This is also overthinking. So, what's the main problem here? The problem is not thinking. The problem is not trying to be careful. The problem is thinking too much and not doing anything. Thinking becomes a problem when it stops you from living in the present, when it makes you feel tired, anxious, and afraid, without solving anything. Many English learners say, "But I just want to be correct." That's okay, but sometimes trying to be perfect leads to overthinking. For example, you want to speak in English, but you wait and wait until the sentence in your mind is perfect. And by the time it is perfect, the moment has passed. The conversation is finished, and you feel bad. This is not learning. This is being stuck. So here is a simple way to understand the difference. Thinking helps you decide. Overthinking makes you doubt. Thinking makes your mind clear. Overthinking makes your mind tired. Thinking leads to action. Overthinking leads to nothing. Now you might ask, but how do I know when I'm overthinking? Here are some signs. You think about the same thing many times, but don't take any action. You feel stuck and confused after thinking. You feel worried or afraid, even when there is no clear danger. You ask yourself, what if, questions again and again. You find it hard to sleep or relax because of your thoughts. If you say yes to these, then maybe you are overthinking too. But don't worry, you're not alone. Many people do this. Even native English speakers, even confident people. Overthinking is part of being human. But the good news is, it can change. You can learn to think clearly, to take action, and to give your brain a rest. In the next chapters, we will learn how to do that. But first, I want you to take a small moment now. Ask yourself, what thoughts do I repeat in my mind? Is there something I always worry about, but never solve? Just notice the thoughts. Don't fight them. This is the first step to change. So now you know. Overthinking is not just being careful or smart. It's a habit of worrying, doubting, and repeating thoughts that don't help you. And now that you understand it, we can begin to change it, one step at a time. Chapter 2. Why do we overthink? Now that you understand what overthinking is, let's ask a very important question. Why do we overthink? Why does our brain do this? Why don't we just think clearly, make a decision, and move on? The answer is simple, but very deep. We overthink because we are afraid. Yes, fear is the biggest reason behind overthinking. Most of the time, we are not thinking, we are worrying. And when we worry, it is because we are afraid of something. Not a big fear like a snake or a fire, but small fears, silent fears, fears that live inside the mind. Let's look at a few common examples, especially for English learners. You are sitting in your English class. The teacher asks a question. You know the answer, but your mind starts speaking very fast. Should I say it? What if I'm wrong? What if my grammar is not correct? What if people laugh at me? What if I say it and the teacher doesn't understand? So you stay quiet. You don't speak. After class, you think about it again and again. You feel bad. You knew the answer, but you didn't speak. This is overthinking, and it comes from fear. Fear of being wrong, fear of looking bad. Another example. You want to write an email or a message in English. You type the message, but then you read it 5 times. You change some words. You check your grammar. You open a dictionary. You ask Google. You rewrite the message again. You're afraid that your English is not good. You're afraid the other person will judge you. So you wait a long time before you send the message, or sometimes you don't send it at all. Again, this is overthinking, and it comes from fear. Fear of judgment. Even outside the classroom, overthinking continues. You make a small mistake while speaking. You said, "he go" instead of "he goes." It's a small mistake, but your brain repeats it again and again. I should have said it right. I've studied this. Why did I say it wrong? What if people think I'm stupid? You're not stupid. You're just human. But your brain is afraid of what others think, afraid of being less than perfect. Now let's ask another question. Where does this fear come from? The truth is your brain is trying to help you. It wants to protect you. It says, be careful, don't make mistakes, stay safe. This thinking was useful long ago, when humans lived in forests and needed to protect themselves from danger. If you saw a lion, your brain would say, run. It was good to be afraid. Fear kept us alive. But now most dangers are not physical. The danger is not a lion. The danger is someone laughing at your English, or someone correcting you, or failing a test. And your brain still reacts the same way. It says, don't do it, don't speak, don't try, stay safe. But in this case, your brain is not protecting you, it is stopping you. Your brain doesn't always know the difference between real danger and emotional fear. So when you feel nervous, your brain tells you to stop, even if there is no real danger. That is why we overthink, because we listen to that fear. But we must remember something very important. You cannot grow if you are always trying to stay safe. Learning a language is not always safe. You will make mistakes. People might not understand you. You might feel nervous or embarrassed, but that is okay. That is part of learning. Let's look at this with a simple picture. Imagine your brain is like a security guard. A security guard wants to protect the building. If the guard sees something new or strange, it becomes alert. Is this safe? The guard asks. But sometimes, the guard says danger too quickly, even when there is no real problem. That's what your brain is doing. It sees every mistake as a threat, but it's not a threat, it's a lesson. So what should we do? First, we need to understand our fear. Look at it. Don't run away. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Then say, is this fear real? Is it helpful? Usually the answer is no. You are not in danger. You are just learning. You are growing. You are trying something new. Second, we need to be kind to ourselves. Overthinking often comes from perfectionism, the idea that we must be perfect all the time. But nobody is perfect, not even native speakers. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is not being perfect, but being brave. So next time you feel nervous before speaking or writing, take a breath and say, I'm not perfect, I'm learning, and that's okay. This simple sentence can reduce fear. It can help you move forward. Overthinking is a habit. It comes from fear. but you are stronger than your fear. And you can learn to change the habit, slowly, with practice, and with patience. In the next chapter, we will look at how to break the circle of overthinking. We will learn a simple method to stop the thoughts and take action. But for now, just remember this. Your brain wants to help you, but sometimes it gets confused, and that's okay. You can guide it back. You are in control. Chapter 3: The Circle of Thoughts and How to Break It. Have you ever had a small thought that turned into a big storm in your mind? It starts as something small. Maybe you forgot to say thank you to someone. Then your brain says, "Was that rude?" Then another thought comes, "Maybe they are upset with me." Then another, "What if they don't want to talk to me anymore?" And then more, "What if they tell other people I'm rude?" Now the small thought has become a big worry. You are not thinking clearly anymore. You are stuck inside what I call the circle of thoughts. This happens to many people. You have one small thought, and it leads to another, and another, and another. You are not solving a problem. You are just spinning, going around and around in your head. That's why we call it a circle, and it's very hard to stop once it begins. Let me give you an example. You are preparing for an English test. You open your book to study, but then you remember that you made some mistakes in your last test. Your brain says, "I didn't do well last time." Then another thought comes, "Maybe I'm not good at English." Then, "Maybe I will fail again." Then, "Maybe I will never improve." And now, instead of studying, you are feeling worried and sad. You are not even reading the book anymore. This is what the circle of thoughts does. It starts small, but it pulls you in, like quicksand. So the question is, how do we break this circle? There is a very simple method, only 3 steps. It sounds small, but it can be very powerful, especially if you practice it every day. Step 1. Notice the thought. This is the most important step. You must first become aware of what you are thinking. Most of the time, we don't even realize we are overthinking. We think it's just normal thinking, but really we are going in circles. So when you start to feel nervous, sad, or stuck, ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Say it out loud or write it down. This helps your brain slow down. When you see your thought clearly, you can decide what to do with it. For example, let's say the thought is, "I will never be good at English." Stop and notice. This is not a fact. It's just a thought. It's not true. It's just something your mind is saying because you are scared or tired. Just by noticing it, you already have more control. Step 2. Say stop. Now that you've seen the thought, it's time to break the circle. This is where you use a strong word, stop. You can say it in your mind. You can say it out loud. You can even picture a red stop sign in your head. Say, "Stop. I'm not going down this road again." You are not fighting the thought. You are just telling your brain, "That's enough." You are stopping the circle before it gets bigger. For example, if the thought is, "What if I make a mistake in class?" You say, "Stop. This thought is not helping me. I've had this thought before. It's not useful." This step feels small, but it is very powerful. You are training your mind to not follow every thought. You are becoming the driver, not the passenger. Step 3. Focus on what you can do. Now that you've said stop, it's time to change your focus. Don't just sit in silence. Don't wait for the next worry. Instead, Ask, what can I do right now? This question brings you back to action. It brings you back to the present, and action is the opposite of overthinking. Let's go back to our example. You are afraid you will fail the test. You said, stop. Now ask, what can I do? Maybe the answer is, I can study one chapter today. I can review my notes. I can ask my teacher one question. I can take a short break and come back with a clear mind. These are all small actions, but they are real. They move you forward. They break the circle. Let's try this method with another example. You want to speak in class, but you're afraid. You think, what if my grammar is wrong? Step 1. Notice it. You say, I'm afraid of making a mistake. Step 2. Say stop. You say, stop. This fear is not helping me. Step 3. Focus on action. You say, I will try to speak one sentence. That's enough for today. Can you see the change? You are no longer a prisoner of your thoughts. You are in control, and that control gives you confidence. Now you might ask, will this work every time? The answer is, maybe not the first time, or the second. But if you practice it, you will get stronger. The circle of thoughts is a habit, but you can build a new habit, the habit of stopping and choosing action. Remember, overthinking is like a circle. It feels endless, but you can break it with 3 small steps. Every time you do this, you train your brain. You teach it a new way to think. And every time you break the circle, even once, that is a small victory. That is progress. In the next chapter, we will talk more about action and how doing something, even something small, can help stop overthinking fast. But before we go there, I want you to try this method today. Next time you feel stuck, remember: 1. Notice the thought. 2. Say stop. 3. Focus on what you can do. Chapter 4. How action stops overthinking. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever spent more time worrying about something than actually doing it? For example, you think about your English homework for 3 hours. You feel nervous about it. You say to yourself, it's too hard. I don't know where to start. What if I get it wrong? You keep thinking and thinking, but you don't open the book. Finally, when you do start, it takes just 20 minutes. So you worried for 3 hours, but the work only needed 20 minutes. This is what overthinking does. It fills our minds with fear and doubt. But the funny thing is, the problem is usually not so big. When we take action, we often say, "Oh, that was not so hard." In this chapter, I want to give you one very important idea. Action is the enemy of overthinking. Let me say that again. Action is the enemy of overthinking. Why? Because when you take action, your brain becomes busy. It starts working on something real, not just imaginary problems. Overthinking lives in the mind, but action lives in the real world. When you act, even in a small way, you break the power of worry. Let's look at some real examples that English learners often face. Imagine you want to write a message to your teacher. You need to ask a question about an assignment. But your mind starts the usual circle. What if my grammar is wrong? What if they don't understand me? What if I sound rude? So, you do nothing. You wait. You overthink for 2 hours. Now let's imagine a different version. You feel a little nervous, but you say, "Okay, I will write one simple sentence." You write, "Hello, I have a question about today's class." That's it. And guess what? The teacher understands. They reply. The conversation starts. Problem solved. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. You acted, you moved, you broke the circle. Let's take another example. You're in class. You want to speak, but your mind says, "What if I say the wrong word?" So, again, you stay silent. You say nothing. You feel bad later. Now imagine, instead of staying silent, you raise your hand and say one sentence. I think the answer is water. You're not sure. Maybe your grammar isn't perfect, but you said something, and the teacher smiles. You feel proud. Even if it wasn't perfect, you acted. This is how action builds confidence. Every time you do something, even something small, your fear becomes smaller. Now let's understand what kind of actions work best when you are overthinking. You don't need big steps. You don't need to speak in front of 100 people or write a long essay in 1 hour. You just need to take one small action. Here are some examples. If you are afraid to read a book in English, just read one paragraph. If you are nervous to write something, just write one sentence. If you feel shy to talk, say one word to start. If you are scared to ask a question, write it down and ask later. If you don't know how to start studying, set a timer for 5 minutes and start. Small actions are powerful because they lead to bigger actions. One sentence becomes two. One paragraph becomes a page. One word becomes a conversation. Think of it like this. Overthinking is like a heavy car stuck in the mud. If you try to push it all at once, it's too heavy. But if the car starts to move even a little, it becomes easier to push. That first movement, that's action. It gives momentum. It gives power. Many learners ask me, "What should I do when I feel stuck?" I always say, don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for motivation. Just do something small right now. Even washing your face, standing up, or opening your notebook can be a small victory. There's another reason action is so powerful. When you act, you start to get feedback from the world. You try something, and the world answers. You speak, and someone replies. You write, and someone reads it. You study, and you learn something new. Overthinking gives you nothing. Action gives you results. Now, I want to be honest with you. Taking action is not always easy. You might still feel nervous. You might make mistakes. But that's okay. Mistakes are part of learning. What matters is this. You did something. You didn't stay stuck. So here's a simple rule for your daily life. If you are thinking too much, do something small. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do in the next 5 minutes? What small step can I take today? What's the easiest way to begin? You will be surprised at how powerful this is. One step leads to another. One action leads to progress. And when you act, even with fear, you become stronger. Let's review. Overthinking lives in the mind. Action lives in the real world. You don't need to wait for courage. Courage comes after you act. So next time you feel stuck, remember, do. Don't just think. Even a small action can break the big chain of overthinking. In the next chapter, We will talk about how to calm your mind using the present moment. You will learn how to use your breath, your body, and your senses to stop the noise in your head. But for now, I want you to take action. What is one thing you can do right now? Do it, even if it's small, and feel the power of movement. Chapter 5. Focus on the present moment. Sometimes we think too much about the past. We remember something we said wrong or something we didn't do. We say to ourselves, "Why did I do that? Why didn't I say something better?" And this thinking makes us feel sad, guilty, or ashamed. Sometimes we think too much about the future. We ask questions like, what if I fail? What if people don't like me? What if I make a mistake? These thoughts make us feel scared and worried. But there is one place where there is no sadness and no fear, and that place is right now, this moment, this second, the present. When you focus on the present, your mind becomes quiet. You are not thinking about yesterday. You are not thinking about tomorrow. You are just here. You are breathing. You are alive. You are safe. This idea is called mindfulness. It means paying attention to what is happening right now, not in your thoughts, not in your imagination, but in the real world. And the best part? Anyone can do it. You don't need special training. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to slow down and notice. Let me give you a few simple techniques. These are easy to do. You can try them right now as you listen or read. Technique 1. Breathe in and say, now. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a slow breath in. As you breathe in, say the word now in your mind. Then slowly breathe out. Do it again. Breathe in. Now. Breathe out. Slowly. This helps you come back to the present moment. You are not thinking about the past. You are not worrying about the future. You are just breathing, and you are okay. Even one breath like this can calm your mind. It's like a small pause, a peaceful moment for your brain. Technique 2. Touch something and feel its shape. Look around you. Pick up something near you, maybe a pen, your phone, or a book. Now, don't just hold it. Feel it. Slowly. Notice the shape. Is it round or flat? Is it smooth or rough? Is it warm or cold? This small act of touching and feeling brings your attention back to your body. It stops your thoughts. It reminds your mind, I am here. I am in the real world. You can do this anywhere, in your classroom, at home, in the car, on a walk. Your body lives in the present. When you pay attention to your body, your mind also starts to come back to the present. Technique 3. Say, I am okay right now. When your thoughts become loud and you feel fear or sadness, try saying these words to yourself. I am okay right now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, just right now. Look around. Are you safe? Are you breathing? Are you sitting or standing in a safe place? If the answer is yes, then say again, I am okay right now. This helps you remember that most of the time, the danger is not real. It's only in the mind. And when you return to the present, you feel calm again. You can even say more words if you like. Right now I am breathing. Right now I am learning. Right now I don't need to worry. These words are simple, but they are powerful. They help stop the storm of thoughts. Why does this work? Your mind is like a time machine. It likes to go into the past and into the future. But your body is always in the present. Your breath, your hands, your eyes, they all live in the now. So when you connect to your body and your breath, you bring your mind back to this moment. And in this moment, usually, you are okay. Overthinking lives in the mind, but peace lives in the now. Many learners feel pressure all the time to speak perfectly, to pass exams, to sound fluent. But that pressure usually comes from fear of the future. Mindfulness teaches us you don't have to carry the weight of all your fears at once. You only need to carry this one moment. And this one moment is not heavy. Let's try it together. Right now. Sit quietly for just 1 minute. Breathe in, say now. Breathe out, slowly. Touch something near you. Feel its shape. Say to yourself, I am okay right now. Feel that calmness? That is the power of the present. You don't need to run away from your thoughts. You just need to return to the now, again and again. Even if your mind runs away 100 times, it's okay. Just bring it back. Each time you do, you become a little stronger. In the next chapter, we will learn another powerful tool, how to change the questions you ask yourself. When you change your questions, your mind begins to think in a better way. It's like giving your brain a new path. But before that, I want you to remember this. Peace is not in the past. Peace is not in the future. Peace is in the present. And you can come back to it any time. All it takes is one breath, one moment, one word, now. Chapter 6. Change the question. Change your mind. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt stuck in your thoughts and didn't know how to get out? You ask yourself, why do I always do this? Why am I so nervous? Why can't I just be confident like other people? These questions feel natural. They feel like thinking, but they are not helping. In fact, these questions make your overthinking worse. They open the door to more self-doubt, more fear, and more confusion. Now imagine asking a different question. What small step can I take now? Can you feel the difference? The first question brings stress. The second question brings action. This is the final tool I want to give you. Change the question, and you change your mind. Let's look at this carefully. When you ask a question like, why am I always so nervous? Your brain will try to find an answer. It might say, because I'm not good enough, because I always make mistakes, because I'm not smart like others. These are painful answers. They don't solve anything. They only make you feel worse. But your brain is not doing this to hurt you. It's just answering the question you gave it. If you ask a negative question, you get a negative answer. So, the key is, ask a better question. Let's see how this works in real life. You are sitting in your English class. The teacher asks a question. You feel nervous. You start to overthink. Your brain asks, what if I say the wrong word? Or, why can't I speak fluently? Now stop. Take a breath. Ask a different question. What is one small thing I can say now? Suddenly, your brain focuses on something useful. It might say, I can say the word yes. I can give a short answer. And now, instead of staying stuck, you speak. Maybe just one word, but that's okay. You moved forward. You did something real. Another example. You are writing a message to your teacher. You think, what if my grammar is wrong? Now ask, what is the simplest way to say this? This question changes your focus. You stop worrying about being perfect. You start thinking about being clear, and the message becomes easier to write. Let's look at a few more question changes. Why do I always fail? What can I learn from this? Why am I not improving? What small thing can I practice today? What if they don't like me? What can I do to be kind today? Why is this so hard? How can I make this easier? Can you see how the second question opens your mind? It brings calm. It gives you a path. It creates movement. This works because questions guide your thinking. They are like roads. Your brain follows them. If you choose the wrong road, you get lost. If you choose the right road, you find your way. So, how do you choose better questions? Here are 3 tips. 1. Start with what or how. Questions that start with what or how are usually more helpful than questions that start with why. For example, what can I do next? How can I understand this better? These are questions that move you forward. 2. Make it small and simple. Your question should focus on something small, not big and scary. Don't ask, how can I become fluent in 1 year? Instead, ask, what can I practice today? This keeps your brain from feeling overwhelmed. Small steps are easier to take, and they build confidence. 3. Focus on action, not judgment. Avoid questions that blame yourself. Why do I always mess up? What can I do differently next time? This helps you grow instead of getting stuck in guilt or shame. Now I want you to try something. Think of a negative question you often ask yourself. Maybe it's, why can't I speak better? Why do I always feel nervous? Why don't I understand this? Now change it. Turn it into a helpful question. For example, what is one word I can use today? How can I relax before I speak? What part of this can I understand right now? Try this every day. When a bad thought comes, don't fight it. Just change the question. Your brain will follow your lead. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the one in control. And when you ask better questions, you create better answers and a better life. Let's go back to the start of this video. You wanted to learn how to stop overthinking. Now, you've learned what overthinking is, why we do it, how to break the circle of thoughts, how action can stop overthinking, how to focus on the present moment, and now, how to change your mind by changing your questions. This is not just information. These are tools. These are things you can use today, tomorrow, and every day. So the next time your mind is full, don't ask, why is this happening again? Instead, ask, what is one small step I can take now? And take that step. Even if it's small, even if it's slow, it's still progress. And every step makes your mind stronger, calmer, and clearer. You are not your thoughts. You are the person behind the thoughts. You have the power to guide them. Let's finish this journey together in the next part, with a small message just for you. So, now you have the tools to stop overthinking. You've learned why it happens, how it traps your mind, and most importantly, how to break free from it. You don't need to fight your thoughts. You just need to understand them and take one small step at a time. From noticing your thoughts, to breathing in the present, to asking better questions, you now have simple ways to find peace and take action. If you found this video helpful, please click the like button. It really supports the channel. Share it with a friend who might also struggle with overthinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss more videos like this, made with easy English for learners like you. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you overthink often? What is one thing that helps you stop? Write your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone, and I reply too. Let's keep learning, growing, and thinking clearly together.